Hello, Miss Putri. Good morning. So,
We are discussing about teacher strikes and how they connect to government reforms.
and with me, Diandra Khirania Widodo from student number 14.
I'm Keren Gabrella Chandra Dewi, student number 20.
Please enjoy. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Education Insight. I'm your host, Diandra. Today, we are discussing a heavy but important topic: teacher strikes and how they connect to government reforms. With me today is Miss Keren, an education expert. Welcome, Miss Keren.
Hi, Miss Chandra. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here to discuss something that affects so many families.
Let's jump straight in. Many people think teachers strike only because they want a higher salary. Is that the whole story?
Not exactly, although money is a huge factor. According to recent research, 89% of strikes are indeed motivated by concern over pay and benefits. We have to remember that many educators are struggling with cost of living. If we want quality of the education, we must ensure the welfare of the educators first.
89% is a very high number. But what other 11%? Or are there other demands happening at the same time?
Great question. Actually, over half of the strikes, more than 50% also demand improved working conditions. This includes things like smaller class sizes, increased school funding, more support staff like librarians or counselors, and better facilities.
So they are not just fighting for their own pockets, but for the students' environment too.
Exactly, when a teacher strikes for a smaller class size, they are fighting for the ability to give each student more individual attention. It's a direct contribution to the quality of the education system. Interestingly, about 10% of strikes even raise issues loosely connected to schools, such as housing and immigration policy, showing that teachers care about the social stability of their student families.
That's insightful. Now, how does this connect to government reforms? Often the government says they are improving the system, but the teachers end up striking anyway.
That happens when there is a gap between policy and reality. A government might introduce a reform for higher standards, but they forget to provide budget for it. Our team actually supports these strikes because they act as positive pressure for real reform.
So you are saying the strikes actually help the government see what's wrong.
Yes, strikes bring public attention to the lack of resources. They force the government to move education from the bottom of the priority list to the top. When a strike results in more funding or better training programs, the entire education system improves for the long term.
But what about the critics? They say strikes harm students because schools close and lessons are missing.
It is a difficult trade-off, Miss Chandra. However, we should ask, what harms students more? A few days of missed school or years of learning in a broken system with unhappy, overworked teachers? The goal of a strike is to fix the welfare of the system so it doesn't collapse later.
So the key takeaway is that teacher welfare and student success are two sides of the same coin. How can we prevent these conflicts in the future?
Collaboration is the key. Government should involve teachers in the decision-making process before implementing reforms. If teachers feel heard and supported, they won't need to take to the streets. We need to invest in our teachers if we want to invest in our future.
Well said, Miss Karen. It's all about communication, funding, and respect for the profession.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a clearer picture of why these movements matter.
It's my pleasure, Ms. Bianca.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope this gives you a new perspective on the next headline. strikes. See you next time. Thank you, Miss
Thank you.
Putri.